Looking at this photograph of the 6 core cast members at the end of Season 5, you're looking at a group defined by emotional exhaustion. Ross is reeling from the collapse of his marriage to Emily, while Rachel is navigating a period of intense vulnerability after years of unresolved feelings. Up to this point, their dynamic has relied on a volatile mix of attraction and unpredictability. Their appeal to the audience was built on the will they, won't they tension, a cycle fueled by bad timing and the occasional airport confession. And that instability follows them to the casino floors of Las Vegas. In a blur of permanent marker and high-stimulus noise, they get drunk and stumble through the city with a total lack of adult foresight. This trip acts as the boiling point for seasons of shared anxiety. All of that built-up tension is finally forced into a single, unavoidable collision. That collision happens at a little Whitechapel. Still heavily intoxicated, the two of them stumble inside and accidentally get married. In the original timeline, the morning after is a scramble for an annulment. Ross panics about becoming the guy with 3 divorces, and they both treat the wedding as a mistake to be erased as quickly as possible. But consider the alternative. Imagine if they wake up, look at those wedding rings, and decide that for once they aren't going to run away from the chaos. As this timeline illustrates, making that single affirmative choice rewrites the show's emotional blueprint. A Vegas marriage forces the series down a new, distinct path. By embracing the mistake, Ross and Rachel trade the excitement of the chase for the difficult reality of adult partnership. This shift offers a direct challenge to Ross's deepest flaw, his insecurity. For years, he feared losing Rachel to someone else. Her choosing to stay married provides a form of commitment he never had before. It gives him a foundation of certainty, though it forces him to address the jealousy that defined his past relationships. For Rachel, the change is about maturity. Instead of seeing Ross as a romantic what if, she has to confront him as a permanent partner. The marriage would accelerate her growth, moving her away from the fantasy of their relationship and toward the daily work of communication and compromise. However, love doesn't automatically fix personality clashes. Throughout the series, the marriage would act as a pressure cooker, trapping them with these flaws. The comedy wouldn't come from grand romantic gestures, but from the awkward, claustrophobic arguments of a couple who can no longer use a breakup as an escape hatch. This environment would force them to either develop healthier communication or face a much faster, more final collapse than we saw on screen. This change ripples through the group. Joey watches for his own amusement, while Chandler feels new competitive pressure. Crucially, this shifts the dynamic from Monica and Chandler. In the original series, they served as the stable, emotional anchors of the group. If Ross and Rachel are also a married couple, the show loses that central contrast between the functional pair and the unstable one, forcing the writers to find new ways to differentiate their stories. We also have to consider Emma. In this timeline, she is born into a family with established legal and domestic boundaries. This removes the major seasons-long arc of Ross and Rachel navigating single parenthood, smoothing out one of the show's most complex sources of tension. By resolving the main conflict early, the series loses the messy, bittersweet timing that made the later seasons feel so relatable to viewers. The original series ran on a cyclical narrative engine. Unresolved tension meant endless stories of potential reunion. But if you resolve it early, that engine stops. The story shifts from will they find each other to how did they stay together. The actual series finale was a fantasy of romantic destiny, the moment Rachel gets off the plane and finally chooses a life with Ross. The alternate finale wouldn't be about a grand choice. It would be a quieter story about the persistence required to maintain a relationship after the initial excitement has faded. It's a version of the show that values the work over the spark. It suggests that the most meaningful part of their story isn't the moment they get together, but the thousands of smaller moments where they choose not to leave.